Glass Half Full with Avalon Lustick. Brought to you by the Amherst Wire. Hello, and welcome to Glass Half Full with Avalon Lustick. I am your host, Avalon, and I am so excited for this podcast. Glass Half Full will be about awesome positivity tactics, how to surround yourself with great energy, and just aiming to brighten your day for 5 minutes. I guess I should start with a little bit about myself, considering that it is the debut show. My name is Avalon. I'm a senior here at UMass Amherst, and I used to be a really negative person. A realistic Rita, a Debbie Downer, whatever suits your fancy. But one day, my friend from home, whom I trust a lot, told me that I was the most negative person he knew, and that really struck a chord with me. From then on, I decided to make a more conscious effort to think more positively about myself, the things that I am doing, and about my life in general. And hopefully, this podcast will inspire you to do so also. For the first show, I thought it would be a good idea to define what an optimist is and go from there. An optimist is someone that can see the bright side of any situation. For some, that can be annoying, but for others, it can be inspiring. Winston Churchill once said, "The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty." Optimism affects people beneficially both psychologically and physiologically. Optimism helps reduce mental challenges like anxiety, depression, and even helps reduce stress. In addition to helping your state of mind improve, optimism also provides physiological benefits. According to the Harvard Health Plan, it reduces the risk of heart disease, reduces blood pressure, and it can even help you live a longer life. The Harvard Health Plan also said that people who are healthy are likely to have a brighter outlook than people who are ill. So perhaps optimism is actually the result of good health instead of the other way around. Ultimately, it becomes the argument of which came first, the chicken or the egg. I know what you're thinking, but how do people know that optimism has both psychological and physiological benefits? Well, Barbara Fredrickson, a psychological researcher at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, created a research project testing if optimism had both physiological and psychological effects. Participants first had their baseline heart activity recorded and then participated in an anxiety-inducing activity. After heart rates were raised, in different groups, participants were shown either positive, negative, or neutral images to see which one reduced stress the fastest. Participants that were shown the positive images were shown to have returned the heart rate to their baseline the fastest. It takes a lot of practice to change your attitude. To recite positive thoughts or consciously change your outlook will become a habit. Luckily, there are great ways to help you become a positive thinker. After researching within the World Wide Web, I have collected the top tips from sites like the Huffington Post, Tidy Buddha, and the Positivity blog to help you attain the brightest outlook. The first tip is to surround yourself with optimistic people. Positive thinkers are supportive, so it would be like surrounding yourself with a bunch of cheerleaders, which is never a bad thing. Keep in mind that optimism is contagious, and it is a concept that is never a bad thing to catch. To surround yourself with optimistic people will help your attitude transition much simpler. The second tip is to set small goals. Setting small goals helps in a number of ways. It helps build your confidence, it emphasizes your own power, and it gives you the opportunity to look forward to accomplishing something in a reasonable amount of time. I know we all have big dreams, but that doesn't mean that we can't set small goals to help us along to accomplish our big dreams. In the movie What About Bob, Bob, played by Bill Murray, suffers from extreme anxiety. To help with his mental illness, he visits a new therapist, Dr. Leo Marvin, played by Richard Dreyfuss, for help.
Baby steps? It means setting small, reasonable goals for yourself, one day at a time. One tiny step at a time.
Baby steps.
For instance, when you leave this office, Don't think about everything you have to do in order to get out of the building. Just think of what you must do to get out of this room. And when you get to the hall, deal with that hall, and so forth. You see?
Baby steps.
Baby steps. Oh, boy.
Baby steps. Baby steps.
In the clip, Bob takes the advice of his therapist literally and proceeds to take little steps everywhere he goes. Dreyfuss's character does provide excellent advice for getting through emotional obstacles by taking things day by day. The third tip is to practice gratitude. To show appreciation for the things you have spreads positive energy. Not only does it bring light to the great things life has to offer you, but it brings positivity within yourself and those around you. The fourth tactic is to find a more helpful way to view your troubles. Henrik Edberg from the Positivity blog wrote, "Not all troubles in life are molehills or simply made out of air, and these more substantial challenges can easily drag you down. But if you view them in a helpful and optimistic way, then yes, they may still hurt. But they tend to often hurt a lot less and can even be made a source of optimistic excitement." Two great questions to ask yourself during challenges are, what is one opportunity in this situation? And how will this experience help me in the long run? Last but not least, and also my favorite, is to treat yourself. Grab yourself that coffee you were thinking about, or eat that piece of cake you were looking forward to. Treating yourself is crucial to optimistic thinking. To try is a success in itself. If you try to be positive and you put effort in, that itself is a great job. The more you practice, the easier it will come. I can't think of anything better to do when you're trying to change your entire attitude than to treat yourself as a reward. It's about time to wrap up the show. Now, if you see the glass as half empty or as half full, you deserve to drink the glass already as a reward for listening to this awesome podcast. For more awesome content, visit www.amherstwire.com and support UMass Amherst's journalism department. Tune in next week for Glass Half Full with Avalon Lustick. Thanks for listening.